What's up, Columbus? My name is Kevin Lloyd. I am your host here today. I am happy that you're here, but I'm excited to share. The ColumbusBlack.com is presenting the Small Business Showcase Series, proudly sponsored by Experience Columbus. This is an amazing series of episodes where you will learn about small businesses and entrepreneurs right here in Central Ohio doing amazing things. Now, this is really cool because it's a part of an initiative that was implemented by Columbus City Council member Nick Bankston. He wanted small businesses to have the opportunity to have access to Experience Columbus so that they can become big businesses. And with that being said, remember, sharing is caring. So don't forget to share this episode and enjoy. And so I'm super excited today because of the fact that we have some special people in the room. And today I have the opportunity to introduce you all to three amazing entrepreneurs that are doing great things both in the for-profit and nonprofit sector. We're going to start today with Stephanie Matthews. We have Anthony King and Frederick Lee Jr. as well. And so with that, ladies always go first, Stephanie. So, all right. So do me a favor, would you mind telling us a little bit about your business, the nonprofit organization you're affiliated with, your role, and what it is that you all do?
Absolutely. Kevin, first, I just want to say thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely.
And thanks, Experience Columbus. Disha is incredible. It's really an honor to be here with you all. So, Stephanie Matthews, Executive Director for Tribe for Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
We are a 501c3 nonprofit whose mission is to preserve the legacy and advance the future of jazz. We do that through visual storytelling, live and virtual performances, education, and community engagement.
That's pretty awesome. I can't wait to get a little bit further into
Absolutely.
that. Thank you. Anthony, how about yourself?
Yes, thank you again. Thank you for having me. My name is Anthony King. I'm the founder and CEO of the Student Stakeholder.
Okay.
It is first to bring awareness that students are stakeholders within education. And not only that, they are the majority stakeholders. So we support youth organizations and schools with their strategies, resources, frameworks to involve students in the decision-making process. So truly just amplifying our student voices. And then outside of that, we plan exposure leads to expansion experiences where we take students across the country. And those experiences include college visits, career exploration, community service, and we also do professional sports outings as well. So we've now done NBA, NFL, MLB, and it was great for us to host outside group here in Columbus where we also did NHL with the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Outstanding, outstanding. It sounds pretty empowering and exciting for the students.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good stuff. All right. And then we have Frederick Lee Jr. with us today. Frederick?
Yes, sir. It's a pleasure. So I'm Frederick Lee Jr. I'm our Director of Partnerships and Development with Lead the Way. So Lead the Way is a nonprofit youth workforce development and career readiness agency. So we focus on 10 eligible families. That's temporary assistance for needy families. You have to be at or below the 200% poverty guideline. And our grant is by Franklin County Board of Commissioners and Job and Family Services. So we're able to just essentially help our students on their career journey after high school.
Okay.
So we essentially focus on work experiences, career exposure, career exploration, help them on resume building, work experiences. So just really getting them exposed to what the life is going to be like after high school.
Outstanding. Love the work that you all are doing as well, right? So let's go a little bit deeper, right? So give us the high level of what you do, but help our audience understand what does this really look like, right? Like we hear these titles sometimes, we hear a little bit about the organizations, but from a day-to-day perspective, what does that really look like and what should people like, what do they actually experience through your organizations?
Yeah, I don't mind, sure. So I'll start with like, what do they experience through our organization? So as I said, we're visual storytellers, right?
Yeah.
You know, my background is, I was as a photographer and a creative director for over 22 years.
A very
So-
talented one, by the way.
Well, thank you, I appreciate you. So, you know, I brought that to the mission when I stepped in as the executive director 4 years ago. So the visual storytelling looks like, you know, performances, interviews with artists. We bring in high level jazz musicians from all over the country,
Okay.
who are global and nationally known.
Yeah.
And so we have like a performance series during April. It starts during April, which is Jazz Appreciation Month, and goes through the year. We just wrapped up back in November at the Columbus Museum of Art when we brought in Brandon Woody, who is a renowned young trumpeter who was just signed to Blue Note Records in New York. And I'm telling you, he just lit the place on fire.
Okay.
And so our music series is really incredible. A lot of community engagement. We have a lot of partnerships throughout Columbus, and we're moving outward
Okay.
into the state of Ohio and nationally, as well as our education program and our premier program, which is Jazz Lab, which is funded by Battelle.
Okay.
And it is a program for historically underserved and under-resourced youth in communities, and it teaches STEM learning, but using music as that pathway to dig into science and technology. And so it's been a very successful program funded by not only Battelle, but then City of Columbus, and then some new supporters, the county as well as AEP Ohio. And so it's moving not just from, it's in Central Ohio primarily, but moving to outlying counties now too. So
that
very
is
exciting
awesome.
work.
That was some pretty amazing work.
Thank you.
Okay, goodness. So yes, Anthony.
Yeah, so I'll kind of just give a quick rundown of my background. So I have spent 12 years in traditional education. So I did 5 years as an Algebra 1 geometry teacher. Within that 5 years, I pursued my master's in educational leadership. And then I became an administrator. So 1 year as an instructional math coach, and then 6 years as an assistant principal and principal. So the back end of my career in traditional education was as a principal. And not only was I leading in that role in that seat, I was also leading in uncharted territories with COVID and the pandemic, right?
That's right.
So through that allowed me to have a close-up seat and lens on our students, on our families, on our communities, and also again navigating through circumstances that we've never faced as a society, and especially how that impacted our youth as well. So through that, and being in that seat as a principal, I was being pulled further and further away from the student, and that was not my why for getting an education, right? So ultimately, in that role, I began implementing frameworks to ensure that students had a voice, and it drastically supported the culture, drastically supported their student life experiences. In addition to began planning experiences for them to go out of Columbus, Ohio. So took students to Atlanta and DC while I was a principal, and the impact that I saw it had on the students was amazing. But not only that, the impact it had on myself and the adults. And again, while navigating through those uncharted territories, not only myself, I know a lot of educators and administrators were burnt out due to the circumstances that we were facing, right? And again, when you're getting pulled further and further away, you're not getting the fulfillment from the students that you're working with and serving, right? So ultimately, that is when truly like God sparked something in me to where it was like, I know this is a need for our students to expose them to a variety of different cities, diversity, career pathways, colleges, programs, etc. But then not only that, like the adults need this as well. So that then fueled me to take a leap, and I resigned as a principal in June of 24. And I launched the student Stakeholder. So now I have the opportunity to partner with organizations like Lead the Way Learning Academy, like the Urban League. Myself and Stephanie have talked, and we are going to continue to have conversations as far as like what that partnership and relationship and collaboration can be. But ultimately, it is my duty to create the ecosystem for our students. So ultimately, the student stakeholder, we don't want to do it all, right? We want to strengthen the student, the school community, the nonprofits that are serving our youth by how can we all add value, right? We all bring different strengths to the table. How can we support the whole student, the whole community, and the families as well? So on a day-to-day, we support organizations from a consulting standpoint, but then ultimately we also are investing a lot of time in developing strategic partnerships nationally and locally to identify how one wants to be a part of the ecosystem. That's either by time, your talent, or from a financial standpoint too. From the treasurer side as well. So we are gearing up for the next phase. To really do more local experiences here in Columbus, while also goal is to operate out of DC and Orlando beginning in fall of 2026 as well.
Outstanding. We'll come back to some of that too. So appreciate what you just shared. Very insightful and impactful. We have some other things we need to talk about too, by the way. All right? Good stuff. Frederick, back to you.
Yeah, so lead the way. So day to day is, we'll partner with schools. So we get a chance to, have a classroom within those schools, and that's how we're able to speak with our students. And so within that process, there's case management, dealing with compliance, paperwork, that's a little bit of the back work of I'm just making sure things run smoothly. But we're identifying barriers with our youth and
Yeah.
figuring out what it is that they need and the type of support that they need so that we can help them as they go on to their next journey.
Yeah.
That's anywhere from, we can pay for driving school, we incentivize students for their grades, and that's all just focused on, if a student plans on going to college, well, hey, we want to encourage you, that cumulative GPA is important,
Yeah.
so we want to make sure that we're encouraging you to make sure that, you're staying on top of those things. A lot of partnering on my end with different partners such as Anthony King and Miss Stephanie.
Right.
Just looking at what are other opportunities that we can expose our students to.
Yeah.
I think right now it's just very important for our students to be exposed to what's going on here in Columbus. I don't think there's enough of students to employers to really know what's going on within the businesses, because it's like we have the businesses and we're talking about the pipeline and the workforce,
Yeah.
but what does that really look like, and how do we create that so that because we're basically building a pipeline at the
Exactly.
time, right?
That's right.
So if you're letting us know what it is that we need, we can make sure that our students are prepared for those things. So we're doing a lot of that.
Right.
Resume building, soft skills,
Yeah.
making sure that students are truly prepared for what that looks like. And I like real conversation. Like,
Yeah.
what is your, like you said, what does your day-to-day really look like?
Yeah.
Because it's not all sunshines and rainbows. Like, what is my life really going to look like? But also, what is my career trajectory?
Right.
I want the nice house, the nice car, because most of our students, they're seeing poverty on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
And really getting them just outside of their neighborhood is a game changer just for them. So and within my role, I'm able to create these partnerships and collaborations to really give our students an opportunity to see something bigger,
Yeah.
see themselves in a place that they've never seen before, but they've dreamed of.
Yeah.
And so how do we take you there? That way you can continue to stay there and continue to elevate yourself. So we just want to make sure that our students are elevated, they're heard, and know that their purpose that they want to do, they can fulfill that.
Right.
So we want to do what we can to make sure that happens.
Outstanding, outstanding. Well, I love not just the exposure, but the experiences that our students especially are gaining from each of the organizations that you all are affiliated with. So love the work that you all are doing. Frederick, we're going to stay on you for a second. And, the work we do sometimes can be difficult, but then it can be gratifying at the same time. Share one of probably the biggest challenges in the work that you do, but then also share an accomplishment or a victory that you're really proud of.
I would say the challenges probably would be mindsets. Shifting mindsets for students when they get into environments that's so uplifting, it's encouraging, they have the support, but then you go back home.
Yeah.
And home life isn't always best for you. You have, a lot of broken homes. There's a lot of single family homes, a lot of single mothers, or single fathers. There's a lot of grandmothers. And then a lot of our families are SNAP recipients, Medicaid, and they're just trying to figure out, maybe mom's working 2 to 3 jobs, and maybe our student is the one that has to hold down the household.
Yeah.
So they're trying to figure out, how do I continue to get myself prepared for life, but also having to manage the house.
That's right.
And so those are just some of the barriers, just some of the things that our students do experience. I would say even right now in Columbus, transportation, that's a huge thing for our students. So just always looking at different partnerships and ways for us to, again, eliminate barriers for our students. But I will say most highlights or the greatest accomplishment for us is one, seeing our students walk the stage.
That's right.
That's the first and foremost, but also seeing our parents really engage in what's going on. Because most times, you'll be surprised about how far removed most parents are from really what's happening with their students. And sometimes it takes us coming in to really just let them know, like, hey, did you know they got a good grade in this class they've been struggling in? Did you know they just earned a certification, meaning they get leadership excellence, they can qualify for a managerial role?
Right.
Like, just really bringing in and enhancing that whole family dynamic has always been a huge success for us. We focus on parents heavily because we want to make sure that we're there as a support, as a community, to make sure that we're adding value to everyone. And when you got the student, you got the family, you can really change lives, change the trajectory, and really just the mindset that we talked about. So we go from surviving to thriving.
That's right. Love it, love it, love it. All right, good stuff. How about you, Ann?
Yeah, so I with my mindset, you talked about mindset a little bit. I view challenges as opportunities, right? And the work that we do is how can we provide the solution? And you know, I work with a diverse range of student populations. We have now served over 400 students through the student stakeholder.
Okay.
In addition to close to 40 high schools with the student
Nice.
stakeholder as well. Public, private, charter,
Yeah.
6 different districts also. So I'm very big on like never labeling a student or family based off their circumstances. And I say that from the standpoint with my own personal experiences. So I was a 1.28 GPA student at one point in time in high school, right? And faced some challenges within the household at times. And I know what that looked like and what that felt like for me. But then also know what it looked like when someone saw me and valued me and knew that 1.28 GPA did not define me. So truly my day-to-day work is paying it forward from that standpoint, and really exposing and not only to like what exists out there in the world, but also exposing what is in every single student and how we are all uniquely designed and add value and bring so many gifts to the table, right? So that's one on that side. And I think on the other side is from the fulfillment standpoint. We just wrapped up our 10th experience, national experience.
Okay. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. A lot of that has been through support with our partnership with Lead the Way Learning Academy. They have supported with having their students attend those experiences. And at this point in time, like we now have some students that have gone on 3 or 4 of those trips, right? So like I love seeing their growth and development along the way. But then also outside of that, now we have some students that are at these college campuses and at these universities that we are able to go visit, right? So to see them on the trip a year ago to now they're at Howard University, when we pull up to DC, like that is what fulfills me. And then they can talk about how the experience helped shape them, but then also give input and feedback that best support the high students that are in high school currently.
Yeah, no, I love that. So, just a personal story real quick. I'm an alumni of an Upward Bound program, and going through Upward Bound and then getting those experiences, go to colleges and universities and learn about the different opportunities outside of Spanish Harlem, which is where I grew up, was that exposure that I'm talking about. So I can truly resonate with the impact that you all are having. And then to be able to go away to school and have those experiences is life changing. And so the work that y'all are doing is some good stuff, all right? As a personal witness. All right? Good stuff.
Absolutely.
All right, Stephanie.
So first, I just want to say I'm so inspired by the work that you both do, and both of your organizations truly exceptional. And I needed to say that out.
Absolutely.
I admire both of them very much, very much.
Nothing wrong with that.
They work primarily in the 11th, 12th grade and maybe in graduate space.
Yeah.
Our work with our Jazz Lab program is geared towards K through 12.
Okay.
And so elementary and middle school students are our sweet spot. And with the Jazz Lab program, it's interesting because, and I'll talk about God for a second, because, when I was developing the program and then we brought in, other collaborators, equity consultants and music consultants and everyone who came on board to help build out the curriculum. Early on, I became to understand that the Jazz Lab program gives hope. Gives hope. And so what that looks like for us when we're in school spaces, in the after school space or during school time, is you've got children who, and you spoke a little bit to this, Frederick, you've got children who are bombarded by different traumas. They're bombarded by just life experiences. And a young person needs to know that there are other possibilities. And so when they're in Jazz Lab, you're experiencing through music, because everyone's listening to music, and we're tying it to technology with our partners that COSI, where children get to experience virtual reality and create compositions using different instruments in digital cosmos. Or you're tying it to like engineering, when we work with mechanical engineers to, and they're creating an improvisational designed instruments and things like that. They're using these different parts of themselves, but they're seeing possibilities.
Yeah. That's right.
And so when you create space for them to have these cultural experiences, but then to try all of these new things, that's where that hope lives.
Yeah.
Because they can see something outside of,
That's right.
you know, what's possible for me. And our whole thing is to open up all these different career paths. You know, Columbus is a large and quickly growing city. You
Yeah.
know, got all these different industries here. And we also, in the elementary and middle school space, have to tap into career awareness and a little bit of exploration and let them know that there are these different possibilities available to them. And so the work is deeply fulfilling.
Yeah.
I would say one of the challenges probably is that, you know, with it being arts integrated STEM, so it's STEAM, right?
Yeah.
It's still, STEAM's been around for a while, but it's still relatively a new space. But the way we've designed our work and the way that we are moving intentionally and strategically with, you know, trying to encompass Central Ohio and then these outlying regions, and to take this program national. That's our goal,
That's right.
is to have a statewide and then a national program. That's
Okay.
always been the vision,
Right.
and we're moving steadily that way. But it's getting others on board with understanding that the arts have significant power
That's right.
to make societal change. And yesterday I was at the Columbus Metropolitan Club,
Mhm.
and I sat in on a talk where they were talking about just this thing where the arts are generally like measuring like outputs, but we have to move to outcomes. You know, we're talking about children who are having opportunities to be more collaborative, more adaptable, improvisational,
Right.
who are experiencing greater empathy and having greater creative expression
Right.
and resilience.
Yeah.
And that's what the workforce needs.
Right.
The workforce talks about, you know, how do we how we fill these roles of the future? You know, how are people going to be more adaptable? Well, it starts in the school space.
Right.
And so like, we live there in that sweet spot. And like, as we're preparing these young people, they're moving forward to other organizations, and it's a wonderful handoff. You know what I mean? And so I love collectively this ecosystem we talked about.
That's awesome.
Of all the work, how it all kind of like really merges together in a really beautiful way.
Yeah. Y'all are doing some good stuff for our students. I tell you, it really does impact lives. And going back to what you just said, the arts, right? And there are numbers out there. We can look at the data. It shows the impact, right? To individuals, even from a self-esteem perspective and a success perspective. And so it's playing a very pivotal role with what you're doing.
But see, the key to that, though, and I'll just say this and I'll let it go, but the key to that is, you know, how do we strategically tell those stories using that data?
That's right.
Because the arts and economic impact, there is that direct connect. And like you said, the data is there,
Yeah.
and it's going to be on organizations like ours to tell that story, those human stories, and to show how this does benefit the workforce.
Right.
Because we are in the workforce development business too.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. Direct correlation there. All right, good stuff. Well, listen, as you all know, a big part of this interview is in regards to the small business program that's sponsored by Experience Columbus. And with that program, you all have the ability as members to have exposure to very unique opportunities. So I want to switch the gears a little bit to learn a little bit more about what the membership has done for you and your organizations as you all are growing the business and what the positive outcomes have been from that.
Yeah, so I'll share first. First, I want to shout out Disha Edge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lisa, right?
We're not pausing and clap for that.
Yeah.
She deserves her flowers, truly.
Yeah.
So she has been just a great supporter, like truly. So I just want to thank her for the work that she's doing on a day-to-day to support our organizations and beyond. And then also with Councilmember Nick Bankson.
That's right. Another shout
Yes.
out.
And you know, for him to be forward thinking and establishing this program, one is amazing. And then back he's had on so many individuals, including myself. And I know we're newly in the cohort.
Right.
And I can just speak to how much this has supported the growth of my business. And before I even go there, like being able to meet with him one-on-one and how attentive he was in that conversation.
Right.
Yes.
And really valuing what I was bringing to the table, what my organization is doing. And then not only that, following through with what he stated he was going to do as well. So that speaks volumes. We are all busy individuals. I don't think any of us is as busy as him, right? So one, just giving that time and that opportunity and that space. And, you know, I felt comfortable. I felt
Yeah.
seen. I felt heard. So just wanted to shout that out from that standpoint. Now, as far as like the program, I think first, just the relationships. Just having that community is amazing.
Okay.
We talked about it a little bit earlier. You know, they had their holiday party last night that I attended, and being able to see other individuals that we've all connected somehow, some way, or supported each other somehow, some way.
Yeah.
And that's just amazing because we all know the entrepreneurship life or the CEO life or executive director life is
Yeah.
is lonely, a lonely road at times.
And a journey.
Yes, and a true journey. So just when you're seeing each other, then we know we can relate to certain
Yes,
circumstances, and like it's okay to say, hey, I mean, you may need some help. So just that community feel, I think one. But then also with that, being able to have access to a portal where all of these different businesses are, and we can support each other, share what upcoming events we have upcoming, network with one another, and really just support our vision and mission. So that's been amazing. But then ultimately too, just from the marketing standpoint, oftentimes small businesses do not have budgets to market.
Yeah.
And especially if we're looking at Black-owned businesses as well, the percentages, drop drastically from that standpoint. So I've been very, very appreciative. We've all had the opportunity, or will have the opportunity to go on NBC4 and do Columbus Living segment. I've had the opportunity to do that, and that was amazing for me.
Awesome.
106.7 with City News.
Right.
Had that opportunity, now having this opportunity to sit down with you. So it's program has been amazing. And again, I just want to give everyone who's a part of Experience Columbus, their flowers from that standpoint. And I'll also just quickly share this as our goal with the student stakeholders to do more local experiences. As Frederick stated, like there's a lot that Columbus has to offer, right? I was able to do my first local experience here where we brought a group from Chillicothe, and I was able to utilize Experience Columbus in that welcome, right? So that was just amazing that they are willing to just offer support from that standpoint as well.
Outstanding. Thank you for sharing that. I'm sure they're excited to hear that as well, right?
Yes.
So the work is serious that they're doing, and they're having a lot of value to Columbus itself, bringing so many different events and conventions and activities here to the city. And I think it's great to hear those stories in regards to the impact that it's having with your business personally.
Absolutely.
Good stuff.
I'll just piggyback just a smidge, because I mean you laid it out. Thank everybody, and you give everybody the flowers, and you're well done. No, but seriously though, the website is very extensive. You know what I mean. And for us as a performing arts nonprofit, essentially, being able to showcase our work and our performances on their website. Again, having those banner pages, it's a very broad reach, having access to, what's coming to the convention center, and then being able to like strategically see where potential partnerships could be and who's coming and those things. It's really been a game changer. And I was also on City News, and it was a good time. And we were joking that it was quick, but it sure was. It was a lot of fun. He's so much energy over there. And that was a great segment. Exactly. But no, Experience Columbus has just been, it's been a really phenomenal partnership and collaboration, I would say. So.
Outstanding. Thank you for sharing that as well.
Yeah, just to, like I said, even piggyback off what's been already said, but yeah, thank you to Nick Bexton. I mean,
Absolutely.
I really believe in what he be saying. I'm Nick Bexton. I love you. Ain't nothing to do about it. I just really believe that. Just a lot of work and time that he puts into programs like this to give just us the opportunity to showcase and really just be able to let people know who we are and what it is that we do. Because I used to always hear like we're the best kept secret. Well, I don't want to keep being a secret. Like I need people to see what we're doing, and so it's really been a privilege. Just for our organizations to be exposed to that, because it's not just for us, but it's also for our youth. So our youth get a chance to connect with the city and just see the different business owners or just how their business operates. Even for them as they go, as they're getting older. I want to go out on a date. Where do I go? If I want to go hang out somewhere, what park do I go to? So it's like all these things that we can do with the partnership, and so that's thing that's been most beneficial for us, and the exposure piece on, they said, City News and NBC4, like those things are great because we get to highlight again the work that we're doing. Like I said, there's a lot of collaboration and partnership that we're doing within that network.
Yeah.
And like we keep talking about the ecosystem that we're creating. And it's getting bigger and bigger and it's getting better and better because we have that opportunity to continue to connect. So thank you to Experience Columbus for that opportunity. Lead the Way greatly thanks you for that.
Yeah.
So we'll continue to be a partner.
Oh, see, I love how you looked at the camera. Thank you. I'm saying it to you now because I mean it. Because Disha and that, it's been wonderful. And thank you, City Councilman Nick Bankston. He is incredible. He comes out publicly.
Yeah.
You know, he came to our jazz lab over the summer over at Fort Hayes, and he went through all the labs and was there with the kids, and it's nice to have that stakeholder who comes in. You know,
Absolutely.
Yes.
How about that? Bringing it full circle.
See the work.
Did y'all see what she just said? Oh my goodness. Did y'all see what she just said? Oh man. Now that's what I'm talking about. Good stuff. Well, listen, y'all, we're just about to wrap up, but the only way we can do it the right way is for people to understand how they can also help support you all in your growth with your organizations and what y'all are doing, right? Experience Columbus, they laid it out there, right? Proud sponsor of this opportunity. Councilmember Nick Bankston, he said, hey, here it is. Now it's up to us as a community to also support you all. So if you all could share, right? How can we support you? Websites, email addresses, social media, drop all the handles, everything, so we know how to either follow, how to support, how to spend money, how to donate, all those good things to help you all be successful.
I love it. You guys are first.
I'll say, as far as donate, you guys can go to our website at www.ltwohio.org. We're on social platforms, LinkedIn, Instagram. Those are all LTW Ohio. But time, treasure, those two things are endless. Volunteering, coming out and spending time with our youth, just really just having a hand and a part into our community. But also, since we're here, we're talking about the money. Always gotta go to opera. We need the money. But for real though, those are things that help keep our program going. We serve 500 students.
Okay.
That's just a drop in the bucket to the need that's here in Columbus.
Absolutely.
So as we expand, you're not just partnering, just donating money just because. Like we're able to now help more students be able to have access to these partnerships and opportunities that we create for our students.
Yeah.
And so that's where we're at.
That's right. Make that Giving Tuesday be every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
Here we go. That's right. Expand and change more lives. So appreciate that. Anthony, how about on your end? How can we follow up support?
Yes, sir. So I'll just share, there's infinite entry points to the ecosystem.
Okay.
And again, I want to partner with individuals, organizations that are diverse, right? But also like value minded and from that standpoint. But we want to expose our students to a diverse pathways, cultures, traditions, and opportunities that exist. So truly for any organization or individual that wants to partner or support, start where it makes sense for you, right? And I'm big on just starting wherever it makes sense. And ultimately, as we are growing and scaling, and as I mentioned, where we do national experiences, we have 3 upcoming in spring of 26. So we're going to Atlanta, April 6th to April 8th, Washington, D.C., April 19th to the 21st. And we have a great partnership with the Cincinnati Reds where we'll be doing a day trip to Cincinnati on May 23rd. And that is going to be their HBCU celebration day. So we're wanting to continue to just strengthen our partnerships and also identify how one wants to be a part. The great thing that we'll be gearing up for in 26 leading up to each of those 3 public experiences, which again are open to any high school student across Central Ohio. We will be more intentional with the programming that's going to be happening pre-experience, during experience, and also post-experience as well. So we are looking for partners that want to be a part of those programs and the workshops for our students and our families to best prepare them not only for the experience, but also prepare them for their post-secondary pathways as well. So we can be found at thestudentstakeholder.com.
Okay.
Our website includes everything as far as those upcoming experiences that I just outlined. And then ultimately too, from the consulting standpoint, not only do we want to do work and support the schools we also want to support the nonprofits with ensuring that they have student-centered frameworks as well that can be implemented with their specific programming or their programming that they offer to the schools as well. So again, trying to continue to strengthen the ecosystem, and how can we involve our local community partners in strengthening the student and the school, right? So again, all of that information can be found on our website, thestudentstakeholder.com, and then our social media is at the Student Stakeholder for Instagram, TikTok, and you can check us out on YouTube as well to see the recap videos of all of our experiences this fall.
Outstanding, outstanding. Thank you for sharing. And last but not least.
Yeah. There are multiple ways to support.
Yep.
Dollars are always welcome.
Absolutely.
Any denomination, and you can give through our website,
Okay.
which is www.atribeforjazz.org. The other way is through volunteerism. Come be a volunteer at our Jazz Lab program. We have another program called Exploration, which we didn't get a chance to talk about, but that's around social emotional learning and collaborative arts to create greater emotional capacity in frontline workers.
Nice.
But in addition to that, help opening doors through connections.
Okay.
And you mentioned partnerships and different, potential like corporate partners. You can drop me an email, at smatthews@atribeforjazz.org and let me know if there's someone that you think might be interested in the work that we're doing. That's always helpful because we only have so much capacity as in our roles, even in development, and those things always help. So that volunteerism, dollars, if that makes sense for someone.
Yeah.
Word of mouth, just talking about us to other people.
Yeah.
And seeing how that, there's that ripple effect.
Right.
We're building momentum, getting our voice out there. You can come support a performance. Our shows are start again in the spring, and ticket prices are extremely reasonable. $20 tickets to see high-level jazz musicians from all over the world.
It's not bad.
Nobody's doing this. Not bad. It's not bad, exactly. So our website. Follow us on social media. A Tribe for Jazz _ on Instagram, and A Tribe for Jazz on LinkedIn as well as Facebook. So multiple ways. Reach out to me directly. That's the invitation. I'm talking to that campus.
That's right. I saw that. Yeah.
That's the invitation. Thank you.
Good stuff. All right. Well, listen, y'all. She just broke it down. You all know how to follow each of them now. You know how to get them on social media, and they provide the email addresses or websites as well. You all understand how important this is. So I want to thank each of you, right? So Stephanie, Anthony, Frederick, thank you for taking the time, right, to actually come on board, share, so people can also support and see the work that you all are doing. Really appreciate it. But now I also understand why it's so important that Experience Columbus and Councilmember Nick Bankston thought that this would be so important for our community. And you all see it right here. So with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. I want to take the opportunity to thank Experience Columbus themselves as the sponsor of the small business showcase series that's taking place right here on columbusblack.com. Check us out. Go to the website to learn more. You'll get all the full stories and anything else you need right on the website. So we appreciate y'all for joining us today. And y'all have a wonderful one. Thank y'all so much.
Thanks, Kevin. God bless him. Thank
Here
you.
we go.
Thank you.
Did y'all see that? That's pretty cool. All right. Here we go.
Nice start. Sorry.
Cut. I think she has to go to her meeting.
I do.
Oh my goodness. you got
Right
it.
in the ladies' room.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
thank you so
Blessings.
much. Good to
Oh,
see you.
thank you so much. Lovely interview. Same to you. Same to you.
I'll be in touch.